Hi guys, Matt Clendenin here with the Clendenin Firm. I want to talk about settlements today. In particular, I want to talk about where all the settlement money goes. The first thing that we go over with a client when we get a settlement offer, or even when we make a settlement offer, is how much of that settlement is going to be going to the client. Because of course everyone's asking, how much money am I going to get? The client usually doesn't really care at first about how much money the lawyer gets or how much money the medical bills cost. The client wants to know what goes in their pocket. So it's important to talk about this so the client really understands what's happening with the settlement. And of course, the second question that everyone asks is, why are lawyers so expensive? So great question. And I'll start with a disclaimer, which is that lawyers are expensive. Unfortunately, lawyers, just like doctors, go to school for a long time, and it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in education to be able to do what lawyers do. So lawyers are expensive. But for personal injury trial lawyers, I like to tell people about the gamble. What I'm talking about when I say the gamble is when you first meet with your personal injury lawyer, that lawyer is committing to gamble their time and their money to fight and hopefully win your case. So the risk is all on the lawyer. So when I talk about the gamble, I like to put the shoe on the other foot, so to speak. And I like to tell the client, let's put it this way. Mr. Smith, thank you for coming in today. I'm glad you've told me a little bit about your case. I'd love to work on your case. I want to get started, but I got to tell you, it's going to take me several hundred hours of work, and I charge $300 an hour. So I'm going to need to ask you to pay for 20 hours up front, and then I'm going to send you an invoice for about $15,000 or $20,000 every month while we're working on this case. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Smith, it's also going to cost us about $40,000 of lawsuit costs in addition to paying for my time. We're going to have to pay a lot of court fees. We're going to have to pay the experts. We're going to have to pay your doctors. There's lots of depositions we need to take. So Mr. Smith, I'm going to need you to also pay me a down payment of $40,000 to pay for the costs on your case. And look, Mr. Smith, before you write me a check, I want to make sure that you understand we might not win your case. You might pay me all this money and we might get you zero. And even if we do win, I can't promise you how much money we're going to win. It's really entirely risky. Who in the world is going to do that? Unfortunately, most people can't afford to do that, even if they wanted to make that gamble. So when you're sitting at the beginning of your case, it's important to keep in mind that it's the lawyer who's bearing all that risk. It's the lawyer who's gambling on your case. So then, 2 years later, after 2 years of work, and we win the case, I hope that gives a little bit of perspective for why the lawyer takes that big percentage at the end of the day.